Welcome to the 2350 Effect. The 2350 Effect starts.
Hello, good evening. Welcome to the 2350 Effect. I'm your co-host, co-creator, co-collaborator, Damian Kinsey, and I'm joined as always by Dr. Farron. Dr. Farron, introduce yourself and speak to everybody and let them know.
Hi, everyone. It is great to be here. I'm Tanya Farron, the co-host and co-creator of some amazing events with Damian Kinsey, as well as the CEO of Creative Living Ideas and an author of 9 different books, as well as a mom and a wife. So lots of hats that I wear, just like everybody else that's out there. So welcome tonight. We're excited to have you. We've got a great show for you tonight. We're going to do a recap of the Work-Life Balance Summit and the 2350 Retreat. So hang on, because we've got some fun things for you tonight.
Yes, it's definitely a busy and fun night. We have a great cast of people from so many different layers, and let's just get into it. Dr. Farron, you want to introduce our own guest?
Yes, absolutely. Happy to introduce them. Bring up somebody and I will introduce them. My gosh, we're so excited to have Jackie back with us, Jackie Hallberg from Just Jack's Advising. We are excited to have you join us. She's been a presenter with us for several different summits. I'm not even going to count how many, as well as an amazing member of the 2350 network. So we love having you on the show. So thanks for joining us tonight.
Always
And
great.
it doesn't stop there. We have another amazing guest.
All right. And yes, we've got Thomas Harrington joining us tonight. Excited to have you here. He is also owner of the Soup Bowl Network, LLC. You can also find him on TikTok. That's where I found him, on TikTok. And so absolutely love having Thomas and his amazing messages. He has been a presenter with us twice now, and we have loved really just getting to know Thomas. It has been incredible.
Thank you for having me.
We're excited you're here. And then we have the amazing Sharon Byrne. We are excited to have her with us. This was her first time joining us at the Professional Work-Life Balance Summit, and she did an incredible job as a presenter. She's been with us in the past as a participant, and so she loved it so much she came back and joined us as a presenter. So that was super exciting for us and very important as well.
Thank you for having me, both as a participant and presenter.
You're very welcome. Very welcome. We have one more guest to bring up. Oh, we have 2 guests. Okay, Christina popped in the back. Christina was a first-time presenter with us. Just an incredible person to get to know. I've enjoyed talking to her. We've had a couple interviews with Christina, some meetup times with her, and have learned so much about her. She was an amazing presenter for us. So welcome, Coach Christina Flores. Thank you for joining us tonight. And one more. We've got one more.
Well, we got 2 more.
Oh my gosh. See, 2 more. Wonderful Coach Lee has joined us. Coach Lee and I connected through Clubhouse a long time ago already. It seems like it's been a while. But Coach Lee has been with us for all of our events that we've had. She does amazing topics from, health and wellness to finding your voice. And, she's an incredible published author and an RN. So we're excited to have Coach Lee with us. Thanks for joining us tonight for the recap.
Thanks so much for having me.
And then, you know how people say back to the future? We are literally moving to the future. This is tomorrow right here. We've got Al Chan, talent scout, joining us from Malaysia. And, he is already into tomorrow. It is probably the middle of the night for him, or the middle of the morning tomorrow in Malaysia. Those of us in the United States, we're still on Sunday evening. So welcome to the future. Al, thanks for joining us.
Hi. Hello. I'm in Malaysia. It's 8:10 now in the morning. Thank you, fellow presenters and of work-life balance.
Yes, Al was a attendee last year with us, and then this year decided to join us as a presenter. Has been just an amazing person to get to know. So thank you so much for joining us, Al. Damien, any other surprises in the back?
No, not right now. We should have another surprise later on, but time will tell. And thank you all for joining us. Please share, repost, and reach out to those people who are out there lingering. We have some people straggling to the network and coming into this conversation. Thank you for joining us. This is the recap of the 2350 Network Retreat and also the Work-Life Balance Summit.
All right. So here's where we get to ask questions. But those of you that are in the audience today, please feel free to jump in and ask your questions to the presenters. Excuse me. All of these people presented with us this past October 3rd and 4th, and, have some experience with it. So we'll start jumping in and asking some questions. But those of you in the audience, if you want to ask some questions, drop them in there, and we definitely can go off script for sure. So let's start with, I'm gonna just kind of start at the bottom down here. Do you mind if I jump to the first question, Damien? All right, he's giving me a thumbs up. Yes, he's good to go. All right, so tell everybody, what was your experience like being a presenter for the Professional Work-Life Balance Summit? I'm going to start with Coach Lee.
Yeah, it's always, I would say always, I get to say it's always a pleasure, because I've done this more than once. It's all very exciting. We have always great speakers, and there is much to learn from other participants. And I would say it's a great honor and definitely a privilege, but very exciting to be. I will say that being a part of this collaboration and people that you can actually really connect with and collaborate with. And I really find that Damien and Dr. Tanya, you've curated a very inclusive and caring group of speakers. And I feel like we're real people. Well, we are real people, but I feel like we are real people, and we can connect on a human level. And it really is a lovely community for those that are coming in, those that have been here a little while, very supportive, and kind of feels like, you're all over the place, but really my friends that I feel like I can count on you for, hey, I'm launching this thing, take a look, or what do you think of that? Or give me a thumbs up on this, or give me a review on that. Or I just feel like we're a really good community. That's really genuinely how I feel.
I love that, Lee. That's exactly what we strive for. And the feeling is 150% mutual. I can tell you that much. Absolutely. Oh, thank you so much. Al, tell us, what was your experience like with being a presenter?
Yeah, it was the longest presentation that I ever had. It was an awesome experience. And coming from Malaysia, I had to adjust my time, It's I'm speaking in the evening and all that. So it was a really enjoyable experience. Like what Lee has spoken, she got all the C's involved, connectability, collaboration, caring, all the whatever C's, you know.
Aw.
So in Malaysia, we have also another 5 C's, you know, like whoever who wants to marry a rich guy, they're like you have to have a credit card, you have to have condominium, you have to have cash, you have to have so many C's, you know, involved, you know. You have to have so it was a real joke, you know. So because ladies always go for men, they need to have like 5 C's or 3 C's at least, with the bare minimum. So anyway, it was a very great experience in this work-life balance, you know. So rather than always focusing on the career, another C. So we're also going for going for a well balance, you know, between career, always looking for money, as well as maintaining our personal life in the wellness, and also our good sleep, rest, and all that. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah. Thank you, Al, for that. Well, I'm glad that we made some of the C's, you know, I love that. But you're right, you know, those of you who are just joining us, you know, this was an international event. We had presenters from Malaysia, from London, we had presenters from Canada, from Trinidad. So we had people all over the world, as well as in the United States, coast to coast. And so it was so important for us to be able to do that. And, you know, Al really sacrificed some time and had to organize his life to join us as he was up most of the night playing with us. I always like to say playing with us because we were having a good time. We're always having a good time when we're together, you know, and laughing and getting to know one another. So speaking of having a good time, Thomas E. Harrington, tell everyone, this is your second time with us. Tell everyone what your experience was like being a presenter.
As great as usual. I love the fact that I don't know what I don't know. I think I know things about certain topics. I think I have a handle on it until I go back and watch the replays. And I'm like, oh, the way they explain that makes so much more sense. And that's something that I'm not getting, that I'm not doing right. And plus, I love the fact that I can just share it with other people.
Mm-hmm.
So, hey, this is what I learned over here. Maybe this will help you. It's a beautiful thing. I love it.
Yes. Yes, I love that. That is true. You know, sometimes like when we go back in, we rewatch things. So those of you that are watching probably don't know, but we do have our sessions recorded and our attendees have up to 30 days to go back and rewatch. I've gone back and rewatched sessions, things that I didn't get to finish. And so that is so nice. Or if you just wanted to go back and see, I know there was a point I wanted to check and I didn't write it down. So yeah, I love that too. Sharon, how about you? You were a first-time presenter with us. Tell us.
Yeah, I was the first time presenter and it was an amazing experience. I love being able to present and get my message out there, but more importantly about being a presenter with you guys in this summit, it was so great to be able to meet and collaborate and get to know so many new people on a deeper level, and even some people that I've known for a while, just on a deeper level. I think that is the greatest gift that I got from being a presenter, more so than being able to share my message with others, was to be able to connect with the presenters on a deeper level. And it was just great to get to know everybody. And I look forward to getting to know them even better now.
Yeah, you know, that is a really great point. A lot of us are very active on social media, whatever platform. I know, you know, Thomas is really active on TikTok. Coach Lee's very active on Facebook, you know, and we all are on LinkedIn as well. That's where we all also have connected. But to be able to really spend time with the other people that you're seeing social media posts or you're hearing about their programs, the things that they're doing, it is really nice to be able to go in and connect with them, like their humanness, right? And I love that about that. Thank you for sharing that. Coach Christina, it has been so fun to get to know you. I'm so glad that you are part of this so that we can learn more about you. So tell us what your experience was like.
This is going to sound a little cheesy, but it's okay. It's Sunday night. We can be cheesy today. It's fine.
Sure.
I love that it didn't feel like a one-way conversation. Everybody was so engaged and so supportive. And I know I got a little nervous during my talk at the very beginning, and just having you guys jump in right away and ask those questions and be so ready and open to learn was amazing, because not a lot of conferences are like that. So I thought it was so special being able to have that.
Yeah. I agree with that. I feel like the people that attend are really they're in it for being there. They want information, they're looking to grow, and they want to gain as much as they can. So I'm glad that you feel that way. I certainly feel like it's quite interactive. And then Jackie, thank you. You've been with us for everything.
Yeah, and some of you guys know I'm a pretty busy human, so I would not spend so much time with you guys and be a presenter and attend these sessions if you guys did not run such an amazing experience. Because as a presenter, there's a lot of pressure on you in terms of, are you going to sound professional enough? Are you going to be engaging enough? Is the technology going to work? Is your topic different than what other people are expecting, or is it right on point? And you guys make it so welcoming. You're there for us as presenters along the way. But then, unlike most conferences that are either in person or virtual, you let us experience all the other sessions as well. And if you guys haven't presented at other conferences, sometimes you have to pay to watch other people's sessions, even though you gave of your time as a presenter. And we don't have to do that. And I agree with everybody else. We got to meet each other. We got to be in the space. And something different for me this last session that I didn't experience any other ones is I had a really rough day that day, hearing about some changes at my day job, and everybody was so comforting and welcoming, and the topics of joy and balance and taking care of yourself were right on point. So I got to actually live the words of some of these presenters as I was going through that in preparation for my presentation that day. So I just want to thank you all, those of you that weren't able to make it tonight too, but that have presented. Thank you guys all. I appreciated it, and I felt the love for sure.
Yeah, thank you so much, Jackie. I know those were it's been a hard 2 weeks for you. Let's just acknowledge that right there. And I do just want to say, I know that you and I talked after the event, and you were like, I really kind of needed those moments. Like, I needed that time, with the presenters, with the topics, that it gave you a little bit of relief in the difficult times that you're going through right now. So if we can provide that for anyone, like, that is our goal, right? For sure. All right, Damien, you can answer the question, or you can ask the next question.
Sure.
You have to unmute though.
Yeah, I'll go with the next question. How did you balance your work-life balance? Like Jackie was talking about, things came up. How did you balance your work-life balance and being a presenter? I'll throw it to you, Jackie, since you kind of started off.
Well, and then I had that whole other opportunity of driving about 8.5 hours to come be there in person, even though we all presented at our own locations. We got together afterwards. And right before I left, actually the day before I drove all those hours solo, I got an oil change in my car, and my mechanic told me I had not one, but 3 things wrong with my car. So it's like trying to figure out, do I still drive? He said I should be good for the way there and back, but not to go much farther after that. Life hits you, no matter if you're a presenter, no matter what kind of education you have, what kind of titles you do, no matter if you come across always happy and joyful, life hits you. And so being able to balance it does not mean you do it perfectly, and that it's the same for every situation. And being able to lean on people, especially Damien and Tanya, during all of this really helped. But then knowing that I had the whole network there and the presenters and even the participants, I got to meet some new participants that just lit me up. It was really exciting. And of course, some of the ones that I knew really well, I always enjoy seeing them in the crowd as well. So being able to give yourself grace while you're trying to figure out, what does balance look like with this thing that life threw at you versus what you expected to do if something else happened. I just don't think you can always plan for it. So the more you absorb this kind of information from trainings, the more you surround yourself from other people willing to talk about what they're going through, you kind of learn about it unconsciously. So then when it happens, you have all these tools and your tricks that maybe you never thought you were going to be able to use. So it was good timing for sure.
I love that. Thank you for sharing that. Sharon, I know you had I went to your session. You were heavy supporting other people going to their sessions as well. How did you balance the work-life balance of actually being a presenter and all things that you have going on?
Well, I think that I really just tried to take the ideas of the Work Life Summit and what we were trying to bring forward to others, I really tried to live by example. And during the summit was no different. I just tried to really live the lessons that we were trying to bring forward. One of the ways I balanced it was I literally put every meeting that we were having in my calendar, and I made it like just like I would for any other thing that was work related. And I did that, and I still do that with my personal stuff too. My workouts are in my calendar. My meditation is in my calendar. None of that stuff gets pushed aside or pushed back or rescheduled unless somebody is bleeding out or something major is happening that needs me to shift it. But I give everything, well, I try to give everything equal. Priority is the word that's coming to mind, but I try to put it in my schedule so that my own well-being doesn't get shafted, because if I'm not the best version of myself for myself, then I can't be the best version of myself for everybody else and do all the things that people expect me to do and that I expect myself to do. So that's really how I went about it, Damien.
I like that. Thank you for sharing, because it was a kind of theme going on, like, during the summit, and a lot of it was about, taking care of yourself, and people being lost and taking care of other people and not taking care of themselves. So I thank you for sharing that. And those people who do have the summit and didn't get a chance to follow up, you still have time to check it out on replay. Let's go with Coach Lee. How about you? How did you practice and implement work-life balance while being preparing as a presenter?
Yeah, it just so happened that a couple of other opportunities came about at what almost felt like the same time. It seemed initially like a lot, but I also reminded myself that the allotness is what I have been seeking. And this is what it can look like. So a couple of events at the same time that required promotions. Some of them were pre-recorded events, some of them, but a lot of social media preparedness for the other amazing events that I'd also been asked to be a part of. And so I really just looked at it. I calmed myself down a little bit, because I was starting to, think, well, how am I going to do this? And then just decided, okay, they're happening one at a time. There's 30 days in the month or so. They're at different times. It's going to be fine. It's just going to be fine. Let's focus on one at a time, and write down the days that I'm required to do X, Y, Z for the others. And then let's just take it. Let's just basically, I told myself to calm down. It's going to be fine. That's really what it was. They're going to be great. This is wonderful. All of this allotness is actually wonderful. It's a positive. So we're gonna dive into each one as it comes. As I said to my daughter some years ago, when I asked her about the dozen bagels that she had baked, how she was going to eat them all, and she said, "One bite at a time," is what she said. I said, "Thank you very much." So that is basically one bite at a time, and enjoy the bite. Chew thoroughly, enjoy the bite, savor the flavor, the texture and the taste, and swallow and think, oh, that was so good. And on to the next bite. That's it. Just tell myself to calm down. It's going to be fantastic. That's how I did it.
Thank you. Take
one more. I'm still in the midst of one more, but it's okay. It's all very wonderful. I had a slight panic attack today, but I remind myself it's all good. It's going to be great.
Nice. I like that. Al, how about you? Like, you had, you were balancing the time as well. How did you practice work-life balance? Preparing for
so my time, normally at summits, I'm always up in the middle of the night. So at least it does not affect my work. During the daytime, I'll get my talents and all that, to make sure that all the talents are intact for whatever projects, TV commercials, movie or dramas and all that. So during the daytime, I will spend most of the time there. Then in the evening, at least I got some time to go into summits and listen to some fabulous speakers, talking and all that. So normally, most of the time in the evening, So sometimes can be a whole night, from 10 o'clock in the evening until the next morning, 7, 8 o'clock. So I'll just rest a bit of time in the morning and take a nap about 3-4 hours. Then after that, I'll wake up, go for lunch. And after that, I'll go out to run my errands and going to the bank, going to here and there, so to get things done. And basically, most of my time is spending mostly on the ground, trying to get all the work done within the working hours, days, and all that, and in the evening as well. So that I got more time for myself. Whenever I want to go into summit, prepare for my bio and all those, so a lot of things I can prepare, so that at least we can balance out our time and all that. And eventually, we also have time from friends and all that. Sometimes when they're chatting on WhatsApp and all that, so we were just talking to them and then see what's going on, and even some social outings and all that, from time to time. Not all the time, because partying all the time, you get high and you have too much boost in your system, the alcohol running, so it's not too good for our system. So basically, it's good that from time to time, occasional drinking is okay, but not too overindulging. Yeah, so that's my life, in balance. Yeah, thank you.
Okay. Well, thank you for sharing as well, Al. Christina, how about you?
So for me, it was more of starting scared because I hadn't presented in so long, and taking that time to bet on myself and realize that you have to put time on your schedule for yourself. And I know some people feel a little weird on their work calendar. So for me, I put personal event and just blocked it out. I was like, personal appointment, because this is time for me. You can't let your work define you, which is what I did for a very long time. And so giving myself the grace to do this and to be like, I'm just as important as anything else on my to-do list was something that was very hard for me. And your guys' encouragement was amazing to help me have the courage to block out that time and be like, yes, I am as important as anything else on my list. So the other thing I wanted to say was your guys' ability to have your number available to us if we had any questions, for you to upload my document last minute, which I was like, I'm so sorry. Without your guys' support and all the speakers' advice, I don't think it would have been as easy as it was and as fluid as it was. And I think even if you're starting scared saying, hey, I deserve this, it's important to do it, because nobody is going to give you that opportunity to do it if you don't define it yourself, right? They're just going to give you their balance. And Coach Lee, I just want to say I am so impressed with you. You are doing so good. And I have anxiety myself. And my advice is always take it or leave it. But I love doing my mantra for 2 minutes in a Superwoman pose right before I present, because I still have a tiny bit of mini heart attack. But afterwards, I'm like, it's so good. It was amazing. I love it. So you've got this. I am so impressed by what you're doing. Please keep going.
It is just amazing, right? Because when I look at you all, when I went to your presentations, just exude confidence with both of you, all of you. So it's hard. Like as presenters, you feel that way, but it doesn't show. I'll tell you that much. And I know Coach Lee has been kind of back to back to back on her presentations and her summits. So you keep going, girl. You're changing the world. I love it. I love it.
I will say, Coach Lee, positively gaslight yourself, like I said in my talk, because I did that and ended up with 5 certifications in 3 months. I was like, it's 2 days. It's not very long in a lifetime. It's 3 months. I can do 3 months. Positively gaslight yourself. You've got this.
I love it. Damien, did you want to add in? Sorry, you disappeared and I took over.
Sorry, no worries. Did we get to Thomas?
No.
Thomas.
For me, Fortunately, I got to do this before, so I kind of knew what was going to happen. So I wasn't as nervous. For me, this was more of kind of what you said, more of a time for myself. It's time for a growth part. Last time I didn't take as much advantage of listening to read, listening to other people, which actually helps me with my own presentation. Just kind of seeing how people do things, how they present things, um, kind of gives you some tips. But this also helps me personally because I'm working on a book project besides this uh, about pretty much what I talked about, happiness versus positivity, how to apply it to your life. And this helps you getting ready for a presentation like this, especially with the talent that's here. You kind of feel like you got to bump it up a little bit. um, it makes me be able to formulate what I'm trying to actually say, which makes me feel like I communicate better with what I'm trying to present to people, what I'm trying to get people to learn a new skill from. So I think just the whole thing in general, I took a lot. I took more of an approach of I'm going to learn more things about what people are talking about. I'm going to watch more presentations. I'm going to actually use the things I'm learning and actually apply them because I tend to say, "Oh, that sounds great," and then I move on and then I don't do it. But this time I took notes, just like you do. I got to start taking notes now. So yeah, I think overall it's just not only helping other people but helping myself at the same time. So I think it was very important to make sure that this was blocked out specifically for this.
I like that. Actually, apply, focusing on putting energy on applying it. How about you, Dr. Farron?
Oh my gosh, y'all know I did so much just for this in a sense of I took the days off of work. I mean, I did this for me, just like Thomas was saying. I sit in the sessions, I take the notes, I'm paying attention, I'm figuring out how I'm going to apply this to my life, and then we had the retreat on top of it. And so I set some boundaries for myself. My conversation was about setting boundaries, and these may seem like simple things. And this to a lot of people doesn't work in their life. This works in my life, and that's kind of what it's about. It's about your own figuring it out what works in your own life. My husband went out of town, like purposely. He's like, I want you to do your whole thing. I don't want to be here. I want you to do your thing. I want you to go with your friends to dinner. I want you to go do this and go do that. And even Sunday when I met Jack, or was it Sunday when I met Jackie and Raheem, I said, do you want to come? He's like, no, I want you to go be with your friends. Like, go. Don't worry about cooking. Don't worry about groceries being ready. Don't worry about anything. And I didn't, y'all, I didn't do a stitch of laundry. I didn't grocery shop. My kitchen looked like a disaster. I had cups and eat and go and drop and go and went with my friends and I had fun and it was okay to do. That'll all be there. And so that's how I balanced it. I just said, sheep, everything else is going to go on the back burner. I'm going to go have some fun with my friends. And I did.
I like that. Have fun and your own support system held space for you. So that's like really
Yes.
important too. So
What about you, Damien?
I have buckets of priority. You know, the more you do things, the more it becomes like you understand where to prioritize certain things. And you in the beginning, if like in the beginning when we did the summit, it was like, what, we got to do this, and everything seemed like a priority, but at all at once. But the more we do it, I've learned that I can take care of this and take care of that and break it up in pieces and bunches and get the same results. So my thing was focusing on prioritizing things in buckets.
And Damien, I know you and I had a conversation about how to tell the difference between busyness and progress. And I would love if you wouldn't mind talking a little bit about that because that's so important in work-life balance.
Yeah, I think people get lost in that you got to do everything. Like you have to do everything at a certain time, a pace and a speed. You start looking over your shoulder, looking at other people and looking at their speed. I always talk about how we always compare, like as individuals, we get lost sometimes and compare ourselves to other people, what they got going on social media. We're like fighting against the field of the people we work with or the people in our own field. And reality is we're competing against ourselves. Our timeline looks different from everyone else's timeline. And there's always somebody in your career that's going to look at you as like, Dad, you're the finished product, but they don't see the work that goes into the product. And Dr. Farron does a good job of talking about the conversations about 2008. Jackie talks about how, being in the social work space and working in a school. Thomas talks about finding that joy. And, Sharon's talking about like moving and like you doing that one thing, breathing can be exercise and exercising those muscles. And Al, talking about being an engineer and going from that to talent. And you look at these individuals and you think the product is there, and then you start comparing yourself. And in reality, there's always a story. Like it was great to have the summit and listen and learn more about Lee's story. And her story was great. And me and Lee was having conversations, messaging like, I'm like, Lee, you should just do this. And people need to hear that, because if you look at individuals, somebody like Lee or myself, and you just think that the product is finished and that the journey is similar for so many people, and we have so much information to learn. And even with Christina doing this, people think, all right, Christina is doing the summit, and she kind of, the summit was running already. She jumped in while the train was on the track. We were pulling into the station, and she got on board, and she even she did a newsletter for put us in her newsletter. So it's just about taking the time and saying to people and say, hey, can I pick your brain? I have a mentor that always talked about that. Can you take 2 minutes to tell me what your journey was? And you'll learn that a lot of us have similar paths. And that's the difference between getting lost in that busy work versus, prioritizing some things.
I love that. I've just got so many thoughts going, like, oh my gosh. The first one is like all of the people, like the reliability of everyone being here. You know what I mean? Like there was just such a comfort level. Damien and I just felt very comfortable that we knew this was going to go off without a hitch. It was going to be great. And it was, and we knew that, we just know the character of the people that are presenting for us. And we know that they just are true to who they are. And the collaboration on top of it that we see outside of our meetings, outside of our sessions, just the, people asking you to be on their show, the social media posting that they do about you, the newsletters that they write about you, just those, about the events, not about you necessarily, but about the event and what's coming. And that support is just unreal, and it's just amazing professionals that join us. So with that being said, as Christina had Damien share about that busyness versus priority, what is a call to action that you implemented after the summit? Something that you've taken away from it and said, Christina, go ahead. You're ready. I can see.
I'm so excited to go first because I had so many aha moments, but I loved yours, Dr. Farron. I had a coffee moment actually this weekend where I literally sat for a second. I got some crazy news and it would greatly impact my workload and my prioritization and moving things. And I just sat for a moment with my Diet Coke because I didn't have coffee. And I had my little coffee moment and said, okay, let me just take a minute to think about it. I can't freak out yet because there's so many unknowns. Let's just take a minute. And it eventually led me to the clarity that, I had to write down certain things. I had to double check appointments I already had and had to move a few things, but it made it so that I didn't give myself the unnecessary heart attack that I would have originally given myself and panic and create more busyness and nonsense. And so I thank you for your coffee moment advice during our session.
You're welcome. Thank you. I'll share that with my husband afterwards. Let him know that it was effective. No, I'm just kidding. Those
Yes,
of you
and
that
tell
aren't
him,
here,
see, I know what I'm talking about. Trust me, okay?
right. Yeah, you had to. There was one of those you had to be there moments. But thank you. I'm glad, Christina, that it was effective for you. So I'm glad that that story helped. Anyone else want to share a takeaway that they had?
I really focused on the boundaries, Tanya. I can preach it all day long to other people, protect your boundaries, you have to do this. But this weekend, for possibly the first time in history, I did not look at my work email. It is huge. It was huge. I was like, can I really do it? Maybe I'll just do it for Friday night. No, maybe just through Saturday. Guys, I've made it and it is getting close to bedtime. So I feel like I finally accomplished something. The world has not ended. Everybody at work that would have had a crisis does have my cell phone number. So I did not actually get any calls or texts. So I think I can actually continue to implement this as much as possible, unless there's like a big work event going on or something special for a Monday or something. So thank you for encouraging the boundaries as well. And I think when you add one thing that's positive, I think it trickles and adds extra things without you even really thinking about it. So thank you.
Oh, I'm so happy for you. You deserve that. You deserve that peace. Who else?
Is it okay if I ask real quick, what mindset change did you use for that? Because I'm struggling with that. So if you have a tip for that.
So honestly, Christina, it has been a very rough 2 weeks at the office. We had to lay a few staff off. We lost a huge government contract. Everything has changed. And I ended up really embarrassed to share this, but on Friday afternoon, after my staff had left, because I didn't make them work the whole weekday, they were just there in the morning. It was also one of my staff's birthdays, Sarah, that attended for a lot of the sessions, and she was their direct supervisor. So it was her birthday on a very, very rough day. So I'm like, I am taking you out to lunch. Let's get out of the office. And I may not even come back to the office. We just sat down. We were only 10 minutes into lunch and I got a text message. Did you forget you got a 12:30 appointment? And I'm like, yeah, I did. Completely forgot. And I'm like, do I need to come back? Do I just leave Sarah sitting here at the restaurant by herself? Because we were only 5 minutes away from the office. And they called me. They go, nope, the lady's rescheduling. Don't worry about it. She totally understands things like this happen. And I go, I need to disconnect from work. I need to just take a break. My brain is overwhelmed. And so I did it. So I do a lot of things to help other people. That's kind of always my mindset, Christina. And this time I was like, if I don't keep checking email, don't do stuff, I'm not helping other people. But I'm like, well, if I'm going to screw up or make a mistake because my brain is overloaded, I'm not helping anybody else. So that's the only thing I really think helped me, is making that mistake. Luckily, it wasn't a client meeting. It was a different type of a meeting, and they were so wonderful about it. But I don't make mistakes. I don't forget appointments. I don't leave people stranded. And to do that, it really said, oh, you need to live it a little bit more. This is more traumatic than you realized. And that way I could reset this weekend. And then going back on tomorrow, I have to have more focus and we have to figure out our new normal. So I hope it works for you without you having to miss anything or not be there for somebody. So just remember, the more you can help yourself, the more you're really helping other people.
I love that. Thank you for sharing that. Anybody else have a takeaway that wants to share?
I have so many takeaways, but I think for me, Tanya, your talk on boundaries really resonated with me. And Damien, the sheet you gave, us to use, I can't remember what you call it right now for the life of me, and I apologize for that. But I have been using it, and I have found it very helpful. And I think that's one of the biggest takeaways I took from the summit, is that there was something that I could learn from everyone. And there were, whether it was a tangible resource that I could take and utilize, or whether it was words of wisdom or sharing their book, and so that I could go and get their book, whatever it was, there was just so much knowledge. And even as a presenter, I always consider myself, if I'm a presenter, I'm also a participant because I'm a lifelong learner. And so I'm always looking for information and ways to improve, not just for myself, but to be able to help. If I improve myself, then I can help others that I serve improve in those ways also. So that's what I would say with my takeaways.
Thank you. It's called baking a cake worksheet, work-life balance sheet. It's just building on layers on top, on top, on top.
Well,
Don't try.
I've been baking my cake ever since the summit. So thank you, Damien.
I'm happy to hear that. Thank you, Sharon, for implementing that.
I think the actual balancing of work-life balance, the actual learning how to approach it, that it seems like there's a lot of things that people talk about that I'm like, "Oh, I relate to that. I know what they're talking about, but I've never actually put it into practice. I never actually did it or even know how to approach doing it. And you tend to put these things on the back burner. Oh, well, especially when it comes to yourself. Oh, I'll fix myself later. I'll think about what I got to do later, and and you always put yourself off. But this time I was like, no, I need to learn this. I need to figure out the balance in my own work life balance. And there's things that I don't know that may be in my mind, but I haven't actually approached because I don't know how to approach it. And that's why it's good to have so many different people, different backgrounds to be able to kind of learn from their knowledge, go off some of the mistakes they made or successes they made, make you open up your whole approach to things. So that's what I got out of it. Actually, not only just learning about work-life balance, but find out a way that I can use it to actually balance my life.
I love that, Thomas. I agree completely, right? You can have a piece of the puzzle, but if you don't know where it goes, that piece of the puzzle does nothing for you, right? So I think I felt like that at this event as well. Like there were a lot of pieces were coming together for people, and I felt like that was really, really impactful for them. Yeah, for people that were there. What else, Coach Lee?
I once again I've realized this before, but once again, I got a new job, a contract job recently. So it'll end in November, it runs for about 3 months or so. And so different than anything I've ever really done before. And I'm in a different location most days. So I'm not at the same place, but with the same company, but I kind of show up like with, like I'm here with my and, and do the work that's called for at that location. And it's a little bit different in different places, and they all work together all the time. So they've got their kind of culture, and I'm just this rover person. I'm the roving person. And once again, especially when you're working for a company or a brand or whatever, they have their agenda. They have their criteria. And I have my own. Now, there was a time years ago when I did bedside nursing that, we were encouraged very subtly that our agenda, what we needed, was really of a very low importance, and that you took on what the company, the brand, the needs of everybody else was. It's kind of the nature of the beast with some of those types of jobs. And I'm not in that place anymore, and asserting what I need for my well-being. So in the first couple of days of the job, I got home feeling like I thought, well, maybe it's just a steep learning curve and I'm just really tired and I haven't done this many days in a long time, actually years consecutively. I'll never surrender to the word tired, but I was whooped something. Mm-hmm. And it took me a couple of days to figure out what it was. I wasn't actually tired. I was depleted. Mm-hmm. I was calorie depleted. I hadn't had enough to eat. The health coach didn't eat enough. That was the problem. I'm like, well, how am I going to deal with this? Everybody else seems to be, I don't know what they're running on. Maybe carb loaded before they started. I don't know what they did, but I was like, this is a good job. I like this, but I cannot work depleted, and I'm not. I can't do it. It's not. It makes no kind of sense. It's one thing if you're on the road for hours, or if you're a heart surgeon and you're standing there at a operating table. But I couldn't think of a good reason why I should be food depleted and going home feeling like I'd been smacked upside the head, basically. And so I had to be a big girl, pull my everything on, and advocate for myself. Not even necessarily ask, but I'm like, I'm going to be needing this. Whatever it is, I need a way. I can't keep doing this long term. There's a day or two, but so you just have to assert yourself and like, I'll be taking such and such. I'll be right back. Because I said to myself, this is not going to work. It's just not. And I've got to eat. I have a plan. I have a system, and I am not prepared to break my system. I can be flexible, but I'm not going to break everything I practiced. No. So it's working out so much better.
Good.
It's amazing. If you get the sleep you need and the food you need, you can feel really good.
You're a whole person again.
How about I felt back? I was going home feeling like a wet noodle. I'm like, what is happening?
I'm glad you had the courage to take care of you.
Had the courage to assert what it was I needed, because their criteria was about hours, labor laws and hours. Well, that should be honored, yes. But within that confines, I still need to make sure I take care of myself. We all need to make sure we take care of ourselves.
100%.
And get what you need, especially if it's not being, if they don't offer it, then you might have to ask for it, or you may even have to take it.
Right. Al, did you want to share anything that you took away from the event?
Yeah, there's so many nuggets shared, and one particularly was Christina's, so she was going through so many charts, that I couldn't catch up. But luckily, But the most important, besides the activities, we also need to have time, like the planning for our vacation or travel, like towards the end of the year, like we already work the 10 whole months, like from January to October. So the balance 2 months, what do you think of doing, For example, like Christmas is coming up, at least you spend time with your family, your friends, or whoever, So you should just, I always remember there's a teaching from T. Half Ecker. He always like place all the jars, There's like 6 different jars: education jar, utility jars. Then you have also the last one is the play jar. That means you have to also need time for playing. That means you need to plan your vacation, like just go for a week or something. Go somewhere else, to a beach or somewhere exotic. That you can actually just enjoy yourself, relax. Just sit down underneath, sunbathing underneath the sun in your bikini or swimwear, or just take a swim or dive. At least you can just refresh your mind, after you come back from the vacation. At least we have to have some time, some break, among ourselves. The me time is important, eventually. Yeah. Thank you.
It is. Thank you for sharing that. You cut out at the very, very beginning. What did you say about Christina's session? You were starting to say that, but you had cut out a little bit.
No, sure. Her spreadsheets are very awesome. There's so many things, to follow up, to do tasks and all that. I was just jotting down and trying to screenshot, but she went too fast. But I think she was also following the time and all that. But she was pretty awesome. But at least we can get the worksheets and all that after the summit. Which are very appreciative. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, and you can go back in and watch it and take screenshots of that. So go back into those same links that you had before and you can watch it. Christina, did you get to share? I know you kind of were talking earlier with Damien about it, but.
I did get to share, and I just wanted to say, Al, I would love to connect with you later and walk through it with you if you'd like. And that's what I love about this summit, the ability for us to connect afterwards and such and build those relationships.
100%. How about you, Damien? What did you take away? Are you implementing anything from the event?
Well, I think my biggest implementation for all this was that I think we actually practiced work-life balance and actually did it in like real time with the summit, because we actually had the retreat. We were meeting, and it kind of dawned on us that level of like, I was in the same space as you, Jackie, Dr. Mel, and we were all presenters at the summit. Annika, you got to see Raheem, and that level of, we're doing a summit and then we're doing a retreat to it. That's that level of like work-life balance. It's like a vacation inside of a workspace of doing a summit and getting to meet and build relationships. Myself and Jackie had breakfast and we just talked, and we've been in this digital space for so long that, first time being in person. Same thing with you. And then we like walked around and we went and we walked around downtown St. Louis and, just hung out, took pictures and joked. And it was just, that level of like human connection that was so engulfed in the whole system of work-life balance, and getting to know all the presenters, like Dr. Wanda during her session as well, was those were the biggest takeaways, was the relationships, the communication, and getting to learn and know and meet people in a different way.
I love that. For me, and I've said this many times, when I first met Lee, we had met on Clubhouse, and I remember it was my very first time really outwardly starting to public speak. I have always talked in front of people, students, teachers, peers, things like that, family, but to really start public speaking. And one of my very first sessions that I was hosting on Clubhouse, I had no one attend. And I was devastated and I didn't know what to say. And I remember going into another room a day or two later and sharing that experience. And Lee said, I would have done it anyway. Just do it. Like, just say, she probably doesn't even know. I've said this about 10 times in front of her, but she probably doesn't remember the moment of her saying that, but it was profound to me, right? And so it gave me the courage that I needed to continue to say, I'm going to just say it anyway. I'm going to talk anyway. Someone's going to start listening. And the message that I've gotten from Lee that I also expand to all of you is that you all have a message for someone. Speak your message. Your story is impactful to someone else out here. And that's what Damien and I are finding. We are finding people whose stories or their experiences, career-wise, personal, professional, are all impactful to people, and that people are going to be able to come to these events and really just take away so much incredible information. So be confident in speaking your story. There is an audience for you and everywhere, and people are looking for you to tell your story.
And I love that because a lot of times we get in a knowledge bubble and we're like, everybody must know this. And then you hear from others and you're like, oh, I didn't know. Okay, maybe I can help make a difference. And you guys are amazing at supporting so many to help them spread those messages. It couldn't be done without you guys.
Thank you. Thank you. Well, here we are at 58 minutes, Damien. Go ahead, Damien. Take it away.
No, I just in planning for these things, it's like, we're like, all right, let's plan, let's figure out the presenters, and then, it comes up quickly. The next summer is the virtual wellness experience, which is I went to the website, it's 152 days from now. The work-life balance summer, which is just concluded, is 348 days from now. These things come quick. And I think the whole goal is like how Dr. Farron said, that there's somebody's message for everyone, and it doesn't have to be everyone's message for everyone. So put people together. We're in spaces and places where it can actually resonate and connect with people. So I'm grateful for having you all at the summit. Grateful for my experience in meeting people in person, a retreat that I've been speaking to for years at this point. And, and I want to continue to grow the summits and get it in the hands of people who need it and can benefit from it. And it doesn't work without you as presenters doing what you do. And we want you to be able to do what you do in the way you do it and make it sound, feel, and resonate as you. So thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Thanks everybody for being here tonight, for taking time out of your Sunday to join us. Damien, can you let me share just for 2 seconds and I'll show everybody where they can jump in. So you can go to the Creative Living Ideas website and you can check out the upcoming virtual wellness experience, March 21st and 22nd. You can learn more about it from here. We are taking proposals for presenters. So if you go to Creative Living Ideas website, you can click to apply to be a presenter. We've also got information about our 2350 network. If you would like to become a member of the 2350 network and be a part of some of the things that we are doing, including our in-person retreats, discount tickets to our events, please join us for that. And then, of course, we've got Work-Life Balance Summit coming up next year. So we are ready for already next year. 300, what did you say, 40-something days out? We are ready to rock and roll. So we're looking for you. So check us out. Come join us. Let's have some fun together. It's really fun. All right.
So as always, we close with a quote. This is the 2350 effect. We talked about work-life balance and we're gearing into virtual wellness experience. Time is something that we can't get back. So don't let 10 minutes of a bad moment disrupt the other 23 hours and 50 minutes of your day. Live life to the fullest and optimize your time and share with your loved ones and the people around you. And as always, we are live. And if you want to be a guest and come on the 2350 Effect, reach out to myself or Dr. Tanya. And we thank you. And this is the recap. Goodbye.